Narabote erga fiwi princeps de opidum Bel Air. In West Philadelphia, not a sum, in gymnasium, megi maxime, meades, relaxabam, chillaxabam, omnes frugus, lidibam, quibam, bibol, extra scholar, cum nanis homines, vexabant, in caprum facere tibulationes, but now unum palm proli, amid marta terrabat, dixit mobilamis amita patrisque on Bel Air. Sibillari caruriet, cum approprium quaret tabulad dixit fresh et alia sunt in speculum, for desante sunt decari curus fuit rerusa cogitavi, now oblivi, yo homes a Bel Air! Ad we lie ad primum ora, exclamaria riga, yo homes tolerabo, conspexi meregnum ad veneram demum, sed erythronus, quasi princeps Bel Air. Now, some of the more astute Latin scholars among you may have noticed that my translation in a couple of places there was what you might call liberal. For instance, the empire that conquered a quarter of the globe didn't really have a phrase for chilling out, maxing, relaxing, or cool. So I invented the Latin verb chillaxare and defined it into the perfect chillaxabam for you. Similarly, the casual goodbye to the driver at the end there, yo homes, smell you later, translated into my Latin as yo homes, I will smell you with my nose at a later date to be confirmed. but I think you get the basic gist of it, and that's now preserved forever for posterity. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and now I'm going to go and bury this book in soft peat for several thousand years and thoroughly confuse future archaeologists. So Latin. I was taught Latin when I was at school. I was a little boy, and there were two main Latin teachers at my school. One of them, her name was Ms. Fox. And Ms. Fox represented a catastrophically erroneous decision on the part of the headmaster to hire a smoking hot 27-year-old with abnormally pointy nipples and a habit of not wearing a bra to teach a bunch of 16-year-old boys Latin on a cold day. I remember one particularly chilly morning in November, Ms. Fox was having a particularly pointy sort of a day. She came into the classroom and my friend Rob Stroud was sitting in the front row, bent over the desk, poked both his eyes out. The other Latin teacher, his name was Mr. Jonesington Smythe. And he was kind of mid-40s, Scottish bachelor. He was essentially Sean Connery. And there existed a fantastic sexual tension between these two, because Ms. Fox would walk into a classroom and go like, "Excuse me, Mr. Jonesington Smythe, can I borrow a board rubber? Mine appears to be extremely wet." And he would say, "Well, of course you can borrow the board rubber there. You know, perhaps you can give me a hand with this translation. It's incredibly long and extremely hard." She'd say, "Well, perhaps you can put a translation in my extremely capable hands." And we'd over there in the classroom going, "Get a room!" But in Latin, so "Merito cubiculum!" There were quite a few weird teachers at my school. And there was Mr. Malcolm, who got caught looking at porn in lessons. What a weird English teacher he was. There was Mr. Richardson, whose idea of revising the Vietnam War was to show us Platoon. And there was Mr. Christian, whom I once saw in a strip club performing. There was Mr. Winters, who got done for assault. And there was Miss Simpson, who was a fire-breathing, buck-toothed harpy bitch. Actually, I'm presenting a bit of a false dichotomy there, because I presented all of my teachers as either violent criminals or sexual deviants. And that's not entirely true, because the janitor was both. But criminals and perverts aside, most of my teachers were fairly decent human beings, with the exception of one. Because when I was a little boy, I was taught to play the saxophone. And I was taught to play the saxophone by the most evil woman in the world. And her name was Mrs. Dirgewater. And she was like a cross between Margaret Thatcher and Darth Vader. She had the body of a locust and a face like a snake's knee. Her father was a leopard seer and her mother was a bitch. To my 11-year-old eyes, Mrs. Dirgewater appeared to be slightly younger than a million. And she came from the fiery, sulphurous pits of hell, which was a suburb just outside Manchester. And as anyone here will know who's ever played a musical instrument, when you learn to play an instrument, you have a dream. And the dream is that you will walk in there day one, no practice at all, and you'll just pick the thing up and be like, I'm playing the saxophone with one hand, that's how good I am. And then cool people in long coats will walk in off the street and say, "Hey kid, you know, I happen to be walking past the window there, and I heard you playing the saxophone. You know, you're pretty good. You know, I'm the owner of a jazz club in town. It's called the Blue Cucumber. And my saxophonist just died from being shagged to death. I'd like to come and play in my jazz band." And you say, "Hey, yeah, cool man, I can play in your jazz band. Just let me get a corduroy jacket and some sunglasses I can wear indoors." And you go to the jazz club, and you play. And then hot women come up to you and they say, "Oh, you're grade 5 on the alto saxophone?" We must have sex at once. He said, no, I can't have sex with you. I'm too busy smoking and leaning on things. Also, it would be weird because you're my Latin teacher. That's the dream. But that doesn't happen, no! Because all Mrs. Dirgewater ever made me do, day after day, was scales. Endless scales. If you don't know music, scales are just... for hours and hours and hours. And I'd say, Mrs. Dirgewater, why? Why do I need scales? I'm not a fish. And she would say, scales will teach you technique. Well, actually, she said it more like, scales will teach you technique. And I'd say, well, it bollocks teach me technique, because A, the technique is that, and B, when I learned to walk, I didn't learn to walk like this. I'd be a really shit driver if all I did was reverse across the same 2 parking spaces all day. I'd be a really shit chef if all I did was go to the fridge and get the ingredients out of the fridge and put them back in the fridge, get them out of the fridge, put them back in the fridge, get them out of the fridge, put them back in the fridge. Whenever I raised this point, Mrs. Dirgewater always said the same thing. She always said, because she was a Skedar from planet Sked. And so finally I did the only thing you can do to kill a Skedar music teacher. I staked her through the heart with a bassoon. And as her body lay there, crumbling into dust, a trapdoor in the floor of the music room burst open and hundreds of children dressed in rags all swarmed out saying, oh, thank you for saving us, we've been trapped in there for years, being forced to play the piano. And they built me a statue to commemorate my heroism, and they built it out of bits of violin and paper mache and glue made from tears. And then I slew Ming the Merciless and saved Narnia. A lot of people ask me if everything I say in my act is true. To which, of course, I have to admit, in the face of those kind of stories, yes! Yes, it is. Because if you go to where that happened, you can see that statue. It's not a great likeness. A lot of people don't know it's called Ollie's statue, they just call it by its other name. The Statue of Liberty. I think it's time for some audience involvement. Actually, speaking of which, I used to know a comic whose idea of audience involvement was to go along the entire front row of the venue going, shag you, I'd shag you, I'd shag you, I wouldn't shag you, meh, I'd shag you, I'd shag you. Right, what's your name, big man?
Stuart.
What's your name?
Stuart.
Stuart. Stuart, you have a good time, Stuart?
Yep.
Awesome, Stuart. We'll ask you a simple question, you just answer yes or no, okay? Have you found Jesus?
No.
No, you haven't found Jesus. Fair enough. What about you? What's your name?
Aaron.
Aaron. Have you found Jesus, Aaron?
No.
No, you haven't. There's less belief in this audience than a Dawkins family reunion. You, Tim, have you found Jesus?
Don't ask me my name. Yes. Yes.
You have found Jesus. You're a liar, Tim. You're a liar, I can tell. Well, look at you. You're a man of Satan, aren't you, Tim? But if we got you on the stage now, you'd have the legs of a ram, wouldn't you? You lied. Just say yes, Tim. Just say yes.
Sure.
You're a lying bastard, Tim. Well, there's not a lot of belief in this audience. A lot of blank looks. If anyone does find Jesus, could you just hand him in on your way out? The reason I ask my front row dwelling friends is because I'm a theology student. When you're a theology student, a lot of questions arise, because there's a certain passage in the Bible, for instance, in which Moses is in the desert with the Israelites. And he's there for 40 years, and they have no food, and they pray for food, and God sends manna, which is a type of bread, and he sends it from heaven. It's a great miracle, and everyone is fed. And I always wondered, what happened to all the Israelites who were gluten intolerant? Fucked, aren't they? God doesn't love everyone, it seems. Similarly, there's a big gap in the Bible between nativity, when Jesus is born, and stars and shepherds and all that good shit, and when he starts walking around doing this whole walkie-talkie, preachy, hey, let's be nice to each other kind of thing. And we don't know what happened in between. We don't know how he got famous. We have no record of Jesus' first gig. And I like to imagine that he rose to prominence by winning Nazareth's Got Talent. Think about it, think about it. Charismatic guy, performs in front of people, has 12 backup guys, clearly a rapper. And someone like, yo, man, my name's JC, this is my backup crew, this guy Mark, what's up? This guy Matthew, what's up? This guy's Zacchaeus. Alright, dog. Like, yo, man, where's Judas at? Anyone seen Judas? Judas runs in. Sorry, I'm late, everybody. Oh, traffic was dreadful, wasn't it, Zacchaeus? Get the fuck off me, man. Sorry. Judas, where you been, man? Where you been? Like, I was picking up the bread and wine you asked for. Yo, Judas, I gave you 40 pieces of silver to get bread and wine for 13 people. You got an awful lot of change, dog. Oh, it was a sale at Waitrose. Oh, whatever, man, we out here. We out here. So Jesus and his homies roll out of Nazareth, and they roll out to Jerusalem for the live final of the Cross Factor. And they roll out on donkeys like this. They roll out. When the donkey stops, the legs keep spinning. There's women at the side of the road going, JC, holla! But in full burkas, like, JC, holla! So they arrive at the live final. There's the three judges over there, Pontius Pilate, Caiaphas, don't even know. And the... Divine intervention, someone's pissed. And the plan is that Jesus is going to stage a rap battle between Moses, Abraham, and himself. And it sounds like this. He's the M to the O to the S-E-S. When it comes to commandments, yo, he's the best. Led the Jews out of Egypt on a racial jailbreak with a freaky magic staff that turned into a snake. Oh yeah. God needed a representative, came to me, gave us manna, although it wasn't wholly gluten-free. Gave a finger to the Pharaoh fucking with his program. Now I'm handing over the mic to my homie Abraham. My name is Abraham, I'm the father of the church. Better recognize now, or you're gonna need a nurse. Got 3 weird visitors down by the brook, and then they turned into angels. Yo, what the fuck? Father of Isaac, motherfucker. God said I had to sacrifice my son Isaac. I said, yo, Jehovah, what you saying is whack. He said, do it, mother bitch, or I'll smite you in the face. But turned out it was a trick, just to test my faith. Yeah. Yo, my name's Judas, and yo, get the fuck out, dog. Sorry. Yeah. Yo, my name's JC, son of G-O-D, most important motherfucker in the Trinity. All the Jewish kids wanna be just like me, but when Satan tries to tempt me, I said, Lucifer, please. I've got style, finesse, and I'm cool as ice. All the ladies wanna know about the passion of my Christ, but if you step in on me, you better take my advice. I'm gonna rise again, you'll have to kill me twice. But then at the last minute, as we all know, Judas was convinced by Kanye West to embark on a solo career. He pulled Jesus' microphone, and Jesus lost the final of the Cross Factor to an all-female choir of legionaries' wives. It would have been the end for Jesus, but so the story goes. Shortly afterwards, he launched a highly successful comeback tour. And as we all know again, Judas is still making music with us to this day, under the stage name Jennifer Lopez. Was anybody horrifically offended by it? Apart from Jennifer Lopez. Okay, good. Just checking. So all I want is for everyone to come to the gig and have a few laughs, and it sounds like you guys have that. So thank you very much, Sanders. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.